Welcome to the Elite Administration video. In this video, I'm going to go over the backend parameters for the template and for the modules and everything else. If you're using the Quick Start version, everything will be pre-installed, but if you're installing this over a current site and changing your template, this can be quite helpful. So let's jump right in. So here we are at the control panel. So first, let's take a look at our menus. So we have our canvas menu here. That's what's doing the right-hand side menu over here. And then the main menu here is the main menu. And then we have a dummy menu. I'll explain a dummy menu in a little while here. But let's get started here with the main menu. So of course we have our home menu, and this is generally set in Joomla to featured articles. Right now I have 0 featured articles in here, and I'm just using this as the home page. You'll see here that there is nothing showing up on the front end for the featured articles because we have the component on the home page turned off in the template manager. We'll look at that when we go to the template manager. Our stay here, the stay page, is a single Joomla article. So all we really have to do here in the stay is select single article here from the menu type, articles, go down here to single article, select the single article, and then you go here and you select the article from here. You do have your options here to show the title, show the intro text, and whatnot. Next we have Explore, same thing, single article. Taste, this page, this is a category blog, and we're using our cascading grid category. So you'd go here, and you would select, and this is part of the articles because this is where all of the blog category views and single article views are. So we have our cascading grid here. So you'd select cascading grid. And then you'd choose your category. And then underneath taste, we have our sub drop-down menus. And these are just single articles for each one of these articles in the category. Play, again, play is the Joomla event manager component. So you just select play here. And I'm selecting venues. So this would be select. You'd see your components here, JEM, and you'd have your venues here, the venue layout. Next we have our booking button, and our booking button links to the JHotel reservation component. And we're listing all available rooms. Now you can see here in the menu, this has a blue little button look to it. So what you want to do that is that's under link type. Here under the link type, you can add a CSS style to it. So it will actually take a CSS class. So the CSS class, to make it look like a button, is just called Book It. You put Book It in there, and you're done. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the Canvas menu real quick. And I'm just going to show you the basic styling here. You should be able to figure out these links yourself. So the template features, as we can see here, right there in the top, that is a separator. We style the separators here for the Canvas menu to go ahead and kind of be title tags. So to create that, you just create a text separator, which you go in here and select, and the text separator is under System Links, Text Separator. And everything's left blank here, and we just have template features there. So let's go ahead and get started now on the modules. So first we have our menu module. So we'd go over to Extensions, Modules to manage them. And let's select Type here real quick to find it. We go to Menu, and we have our top menu here, which is in Menu Bar Left. And we'll open this up. You see we have selected the main menu, and then under the Advanced here, we have a module class of no marge, and we have the alternative layout for responsive. And this is what makes the menu responsive and gives us the hamburger icon when we scroll in. In here we have several different versions. We have a mobile, an icon side, the canvas left and canvas right, but we're just going to leave this set to responsive because we want the menu to be responsive. And we want this on all pages, and the position is menu bar left. So next we have our canvas menu. So this is canvas right, and this is in menu right 2. So we just select our menu, we put it in the position menu right 2. Under advanced, we just select alternative layout, canvas right, and we're done. So next let's start over here on the left hand side. This is the left 2 module. In the introduction I explained how the regions work. We do have a region up here on the top that we're not using, that's region 1, so this is region 2. So every region other than top and region 12 has a left and a right. So since we're in region 2 here, this is named left 2. So we can go over here and we can just select the position now and say left 2. And here in left 2 you see we have 3 modules. Okay, here's the first module, is the Book Your Vacation. And this is right here, and it is the mod J Hotel reservations. So we have a layout type of vertical because we want it to be vertical. Style, we're just using default. We're hiding the title. We're putting it in left 2. We have a mobile hide on it to hide it at mobile level. We have a no pad left and right and a no margin. Now next we have another one of those modules here in left 2, but we have it horizontal. We're using default, and in advanced we have mobile show, base color 1, box center. Now what we're doing here is we're actually hiding this first module when we get to mobile level, and we're showing this one. And let me give you an example how that works. So here we have our site at the desktop level. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it in, and you see we're going to squeeze in, everything remains the right height, then boom, we go to the mobile level, and here's our hamburger icon for the mobile menu, and then we just switched out here with the horizontal version of the booking. So we turn off the vertical one, and we have this other one that's styled nice for mobile. So as you see, when we pull it in, it looks really nice when we get down to the mobile level. So that's why we're doing that swap there. And then here for the kayak ad, this is just our custom HTML module. You can use our custom HTML module or the Joomla custom HTML module. Ours has some other features that the core Joomla HTML module doesn't have. So what we're doing here is we're hiding it at 1160. We put hide 1160 and a no marge and just a center, and we're calling the image from the core images folder in Joomla that you can administrate in the media manager. And so basically, like I said, here when we're doing the responsive, the reason we have that hide in is when we're pulling it in, you'll see that the images change height here on the right, and that kind of messes things up a little bit, but we've got breakpoints in the CSS to pull it in, and once we get to this point, we need to hide that kayak ad to keep everything at the right level. So now let's move on here to the Deluxe News Pro here. This is all our Deluxe News Pro, and this is just calling Joomla articles. This is the title, and this is the intro text, and they link to Joomla articles. And then we have our advert right here. So this is going to be in user 1. So we'll close out of here, and let's go to user 1. And we have Elite User 1, our Deluxe News Pro. So we've selected our category, which is a front page category. That's the articles in the front page. We've got the title off, position user 1, and we've got it published. And so here we're showing it in 2 columns and 3 rows, 1 page. Multiple pages would give you a slideshow or a horizontal slider. You can do it all right here. And the template that we're using is Elite User 1. So we have many templates inside of here with pre-designed templates for you. So for this one, we selected User 1. If you'd like to edit it, you can edit it right inside of the module on the back end using the files. You can go into Modules, Mod, News Pro, and then under Templates, and then you can find this template folder and you can edit it there. But if you don't want to actually download anything and you just want to do it right in the back end of Joomla, you can just click this edit button right here and it loads all of the markup and CSS into the module. So here's the main area. This main area tag that we have here is calling in this content here, our main area. Then we have a div and we have our fall savings JPEG and closing div. So what we're doing is here's the main area and then we're presenting this advert right there. Now here for the markup, you'll see that News Pro uses simple tags. So we just have a couple divs to set things up. Here's the CSS3 effects. Now here's our image, and the alt is title, and the image is going to be the article intro image URL. So this is actually calling in the article image URL to show the image. Then we have Elite here, because we wanted to have all of our titles saying Elite, no matter what the title of the article was. We wanted Elite first, and we wanted the ability to say that the title can be here, Taste, and then Elite is in bold, and Taste is font weight 100. So the way that we did that is we just hard-coded the H2 here, then we have our span, and then we're showing the title. Then here's the intro text, and here's the link to the article. Here under the advanced is where all the CSS is if you want to edit the CSS. And as soon as you click that edit button, it's going to go ahead and say we're not using the template anymore. We're going to use your custom CSS and whatever custom markup you do. And so let's go down here and look at a couple more settings. Okay, we want it to be bootstrapped. The template's bootstrapped. The bootstrap is going to help it to be responsive. And then we have a module class of no margin, no pad. This gives the module no margin and no padding. And one thing to keep in mind here is once you save it like this, it's going to go ahead and have none. And it's going to call your CSS and your custom markup. If you decide to go back to Elite User 1 and save it like that, you do need to delete the custom CSS here if you've made any changes, because it's still going to call the custom CSS in the module and it's going to override the core CSS. So we'll just delete that. And next, let's go over here to the download mobile app. And like I said, this is going to be region 2. Region 3 holds the component, but it's off. So this is going to be region 4. So this is going to be left 4. So let's go over to our left 4 mobile app add. And here we have a module class suffix of no pad, no padding on the module. And then we have a div class of mobile app advert. And that's in the style files because we wanted to be able to change the background color of the advert per style. So we just wrap it with a div class that gives it a background color. And then we're calling our images mobile app add here, which is a PNG because it's transparent. As you see, it's just like a wireframe here of the iPhone and some text. So you want to have that in left 4 and you want to have it published. And the next module here is going to be in a user position, and this is user 13. Right here, the video. So the video, again, is a custom HTML module. It's in user 13, it's published, the title is off, and we have a notepad module suffix on it. And here's a markup for it. This is simple markup that you can get from the Bootstrap 2 website, or you can just use this. So what we're doing here is we're calling our image. Here's our video image to show the image, and an A for my model. And then here we've got our H3 title. Here's our body, which we're just calling a YouTube video here. And we've just embedded a YouTube video right in there. And then here's the footer. So here's our title for it, here's the video, and here's the image with an A. So that gives us the effect of when you click on the image as an A, it's going to show you the video here inside of a modal wrap. So let's move on down the home page. Next we have the Wi-Fi, the Uber, and the room service. And so those modules are going to be in 19, 20, and 21. Look real quick. So again, this is a custom HTML module. Very simple markup here. We do have a little div data src, reset, move, 16 pix, scale up over 20, over 1.2 seconds. And that's giving us the scroll to reveal effect. You can go to the scroll to reveal website to figure out what all the markup is that you can do to make things move and stuff. If you look here on the home page, you'll see that when we pull in, they kind of grow in. And that's what this div here does. And then we have our I class, and this is just Font Awesome, the Wi-Fi, so it's just a Font Awesome icon, font size 72, color white. And then we have our H2 for Wi-Fi and our H4 for always free. And here in the module class suffix, we have box, blue gradient. That's what gives us the blue gradient color and the box. These are 19 published, no title. And this is going to be the same for all of these here. Just the same markup, just different text and different color. So here on 20, we have our Uber friendly. So here's the same stuff. We just have red gradient here. We have our Uber. We have a U, Uber friendly, done. User 21, the room service. Same thing, green gradient. Same div. Here's our clock with using Font Awesome and our titles. So next we have the upcoming events, and this is the Joomla Event Manager wall, and this is just showcasing events with the title, the venue, and the date. And we have it here with nice little scrolling. So let's go down to User 25 and Upcoming Events, JoomlaXTC JEM wall. And here in the JEM wall, we have our upcoming events for the title. We are showing the title. We have position user 25. And here's the core parameters. So we're saying we want to use the elite hotel events for the categories, all venues, all states, all cities, all events. End date. Don't need any avatar compatibility. And we have 4 columns, 1 row, 3 pages. So that basically is giving us these buttons here for 3 pages. We have 1, 2, and our 3rd page. The display style, we have a horizontal slider. If you want to change it to a vertical slider, or a fader, draggable window, or a zoom window, that's fine. The horizontal slider is the one that we're using here. Window width only applies to the draggable window. Then we have our transition pause. This is how long it's going to pause before it changes the slide. If you set this to -1, then it will not slide automatically. It'll only slide when you click these buttons. This is the transition duration. This is how long it takes for it to do the transition. And then you've got your transition types and slide orientation. Left to right, right to left, top to bottom, bottom to top. Here's your button styles. If you wanted to do button styles for the left and the right or underneath, you could go ahead and select from any one of these 50 different buttons. For this one, we're using what's called pages. So again, this is a wall, so it comes with the core template in there for Elite Events User 25. If you'd like to edit this, you can simply click the Edit button and it loads it in. So as you see here, we're calling in the HTML template here. The main area is being called here. Then we've got a break, and then we have pages. These little buttons here, that's the pages. Normally with our wall, this is going to show a 1, a 2, and a 3. But in this template, we've done some CSS styling here to it, so it just shows these dots from Font Awesome. And then here's just some simple markup to do the CSS3 effect. So we have our link, we have our event, we have our event image URL, we have our event start date, our venue, and our event URL. And then here in the back end of the advanced settings, we have our CSS again, and this is more or less just doing the CSS3 effects and adding some breakpoints for responsive. Down here in the alternative layout, we want to have bootstrap, module class white, pad left and right, center. And next we have our Deluxe News Pro again here, showcasing the testimonials. So let's go to user 31, testimonials, our Deluxe News Pro in position 31. We have our category ID set to testimonials. We have the title off, user 31, published. Go down, we have 1 column, 1 row, and 3 pages. So this is doing 1 article at a time, 1 column, 1 row, and 3 pages. Our display style is fader, and you see here we don't have any -1s, so it'll automatically change. Again, we have it so all Elite Testimonials, user 31. Same thing here when you click the edit. And under the advanced, we've got it set for bootstrap and no module class suffix. Now we have our 3 ads here. These are just custom HTML modules with images. We'll go over that real briefly. User 37 is a gap ad. No pad, no marge, mobile high, because we want to hide it from mobile. And there's our image call. No title, user 37. And that's going to be the same exact thing for user 38 and 39. Now let's move down here to where we have the New York City image. New York City skyline. So this is just a custom HTML module with a no margin, no pad, and a mobile hide, because we want to hide it at mobile, because we really don't want to be loading in a lot of images when we're on mobile. If we can go ahead and turn off some things, some styling at mobile level, it's going to make the page load better for devices and probably look a little better, because on a mobile you really want to just really showcase what the user needs. Not a lot of flash and glam. So here we have notepad, no marge, mobile hide, user 43, title is off, and here we just have a div style height 400 pixels. So you might be asking yourself, well, where's the image? This image is called as a background image in the template manager. And what we have to do to make it tall enough is we put a div in there with a minimum height on it so it can show the whole thing. The reason that we're not just calling this image inside of the module is because we wanted to have different colors for different styles. If you're just set using one style, you can throw an image in there or just leave it as it is, and it's going to go ahead and be administrated in the template manager for this background image. And moving down to user 49, here it's the ACY mailing module from the ACY mailing starter edition component. It's in user 49. And all of this markup here from the logo, the text, and the newsletter sign up is done right here in the module. So we have it set for normal, display mode horizontal, display fields just the email, email caption, sign up for news and offers, size 95%, outside, and here's our intro text. This is the top area where we have our div class rounded, and here's our logo call, a couple breaks, our P class, and then after it we're doing a div style with a border. So here in the intro text is before the newsletter, then we have the newsletter, then we have our border in the post. And now we'll be moving into the bottom modules. This is bottom 1, 2, 3, and 4. These will all be the same. These are just the core Joomla menu modules. So we have our bottom 1 module. We select the menu, bottom, hide, bottom 1, published, advanced. We want to have a menu class suffix, bottom, alternative layout default is fine. Module class suffix is notepad, notepad title. And that's what gives us our menu link here. And this is bottom 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are all going to be the same. Next, in our footer, we have our copyright, which is just a custom HTML module. Here's our center, our P class, notepad, and our JoomlaXTC elevator module. Here we just have a trigger for the button, our div, and our iStyle using Font Awesome, the arrow circle up. And if you want, you can have audio. You can go ahead and have elevator music, end audio a ding, and that'll give you something kind of cool like this. Yeah, for that we're going to have to change a little bit in there for the actual timing of the songs. We'll change the duration to, let's change it to 5,000. Give us a little more time here because the site isn't as tall as a long scrolling site. So let's try this again. And that's the elevator module. So next, let's go ahead and check out some of these core layouts that we're doing here. I'm going to go over here to our Joomla content, and let's look at our featured right. And this gives you a category blog with the featured item being on the right. So I'm going to go back to the menu here, and we're going to go over to the Canvas menu. And let me show you these real quick. Featured right. And you just go here and you select Articles, Featured right, Featured left, or Featured center. And that will give you this Featured right, Featured center, or Featured left. We've already gone over the cascading grid for the taste menu. So the FAQ over here is done exactly the same. You would just select here, Articles and FAQ blog. Next is the pricing tables. Same thing here. You're going to go over here and you're going to want to select Articles, the pricing tables. Now let me show you real quickly here how those pricing tables are set up. So they're Joomla articles, so I'm going to go over here to Articles, Search Tool, select Category, Pricing Tables. So here we have our 4 pricing tables. And when we go in and we look at the article, and we're going to toggle the editor to see. So we have a div class of price tbl-price. That's what does the price here. The title, 1 month, is the top. That's the title on this, and then there's your price. Each of these items are just the P class. So we're just doing a P class for this, and it just gives you the zebra stripes there. So that's the only markup you have to do to actually build a pricing table for the category blog. Next, we've got our staff blog here. Same thing. This is just a override for Joomla. So we go to our main menu, our Canvas menu. And our staff blog. And this is just selected from the overrides here, Articles, Staff blog. And then we have some page classes. Let me show you how the page classes work. Round image. Round image is going to round the image on the article page. So if we go over here to our menu items and we go to our page classes, round image. To round the image on the article page, this doesn't round it on the category page, only on the article, you just go over here to your page display and use a page class round image. And that will do that. Next is the content constraint. If you want to go ahead and pull the content in so it doesn't go full width, you can just use the page class content constraint, content-constraint. And then we have a region constraint. This constrains the whole region. Region 3 constraints, so if you want to constrain region 3, it'd be region 3, region 2, region 1. That's how that works. And then we have our region constraint 50, and this does a region constraint of 50%. Okay, we're just about ready to move on to the template manager settings, but let me show you one more thing. So here on the home page, we do have our News Pro here, and these link to single articles. So here is the Elite Suites. This is the stay. And here we're loading this in with a load position. So let me show you the markup here that needs to be done for this article. So we're going to go to our content, we're going to go to the articles, and the easy way to find this is we're going to look for our front page articles. Here we have our suites, and of course we want to toggle the editor here, and you'll see here is our intro text with a P class. Here is the read more. Here's our P class for the text, the suite features H3 with the div class suite features, and we have our UL list here with our bullet list, suite features and suite features. And basically what this is doing is giving us 2 columns. And then we have a clear here to go ahead and clear all the floats. Then we're using Bootstrap, so we have a row fluid, our photo gallery with a span 6, and another span 6 here, and we're using our load position booking form. So what that does is it loads a module position. So I'm going to show you in a moment the module position booking form, and we load that right into the article. Then we have our P class and our closing divs. So basically what's happening here is here's our article title, here's our P class, here's our H3, here are our UL classes with a wrap giving us 2 columns. Next, here's our load position, and then here's the stuff here. And over here, this is the span 6, the photo gallery calling it, load position, and the text. And so let's go back to the home page. And we're going to go over here to the play. And it's the same exact thing that we're doing here. We have our article markup, and then we're loading our JEM event wall right here for the venues. So let's go to the play article, and let's go ahead and toggle that editor. So you can see again we have our intro text, our read more. Here's our little review, a bottom border, our P class. Then we're loading position, load position clubs, and that's loading the module position clubs, which we have our JEM wall in. Elite location. So here we're pulling in a Google map. We're going to go back here to location, and we're going to toggle the editor, and here we have our information. So on articles like this, this is the constraint. We're constraining the content here. So let's go back over and let's look at our menus. And now let's look at the dummy menu. The reason that we have this dummy menu here with the suites, the dining, the location, and such is that location doesn't have a menu item anywhere. So if we don't have a menu item for it, we can't assign a item ID to it. So we need to actually create a menu link for each of these articles, since we want them to show up on their own page with their own ID. So we created a dummy menu, and we just put them in here. Now there's no menu assigned to dummy menu. So the menu's actually in Joomla, but it's not displaying anywhere on the front end. So this allows us to go ahead and link here. Here's the suites. Suites doesn't have anything special on it. The play article. You can see here under the page display, we have a content constraint of 70. As well on the location, content constraint, And then on the dining, we have nothing. So let's go ahead and check out that dining. Here for the dining, what we're doing here to create this is we have our News Pro wall here in the inset position, giving us a scrolling module showing all of the restaurants that we have. Then here in the left position, we have an image of a wine bottle, and then over here in the right, we have a custom HTML module just on. So that's what's actually giving us this padding on the left and the right, is a module on the left and a module on the right. So let's go over to the modules one last time, and let's go ahead and check out the left. Here's our wine bottle. Real quick, wine bottle with a mobile hide, so we hide it from mobile. Then we go over here to the right. In right, we have spacer right article. Mobile hide, nothing in it because it just needs to be on. Now let's look at those load positions. So the load positions were booking form. So we have our booking form here. Horizontal, white CSS, booking form. Nothing else needed, just the booking form. And then we have our clubs. And here for the clubs, again, this is our JEM wall. So we've selected which venues we want to show and which events we want to show. Because what the wall is going to do is it's going to show you the venues, but if you don't select which events, it'll double up on the venues. It'll show you all the events for a venue. So what we want to do here is we only want to show which venues we had. So we just selected one event from each venue. We have 2 columns, 2 rows, pages 1. Here we selected our button for the left and the right. This is the Elite Venues inset. So if we click on the edit button, you'll see we have our main area. And here's our effect. And then in the inset, we had our restaurants. Here's our restaurants. Here's our dining. Here's our buttons left and right. And let's go ahead and add the markup. So here we have our main area, and here we have a div class for the left button and the right button. There's the left and the right, and then we have our markup here. Of course, we have it in the inset position, hide, menu assignment, it's only on the page selected, dining. And that's the other reason that we wanted to create the dummy articles, because since there's no menu link for the dining page, we couldn't assign a module to it. So that's why we have the dummy article. And now let's move over to the template manager. And here's the Elite template, styles, Elite. And here's the details. We have our default layout, default or mobile. We want to have it for default. The template is responsive. We have included a mobile template. If you wanted to design something, say, app looking for the mobile site, then you could go ahead and set that to mobile. Here in the default layout, you always really want to be on default because you don't really want to show the mobile site to desktops. But let's say that you created a custom template for the mobile and you wanted it only to show on mobile device. So you turn this on, and then it would go ahead and say that any mobile device, any device that's mobile, it's going to switch the template. But since the template is responsive, we can turn it off because we don't need a mobile template. And here's our layout settings. So basically we have our grid style default. We only have one style. With our XTC framework, you can go ahead and create multiple grid styles and select them from here. Our template style is selected here, whatever default template style you want, 1 through 4. CSS3 effects, we only have one CSS3 effects here. Typography, we only have one. If you want to create your own files and your own parameters, you could go ahead and do that and have multiple. But that's for more advanced users. So here is the default. If you want to see the module map, right here is the view layout. That's going to give you the layout of the template. Same for the mobile layout. Now we're going to move into the grid settings. The grid settings is based on Bootstrap. And this has all the settings for basically the layout and the width and everything. So here we have our main wrapper width, which is 1280, an outer wrapper of 30. Responsive features, yes. If you don't want the site to be responsive and you want to look the same as it does on desktop on mobile, you turn that off. I wouldn't suggest that nowadays because Google does punish you and it's not good for SEO. Google wants everything to be responsive and mobile friendly. So you should really leave this on. Make the header sticky, yes or no. Basically, does that mean that the header is always going to remain at the top of the page? Or if you want it to scroll, then you just turn that off. Here's our header padding. Header fixed width or fluid width. You're going to see this a lot in the grid. The fixed width means that it's going to adhere to your main wrap width, that 1280 pixels. If you set it for fluid, that means it's going to go the full width of the browser. Now we have our menu style. Suckerfish or dualfish. Suckerfish is one column. Dualfish is two. None. None we put in there just in case that you want to use a third-party menu module. Say you want to use some mega menu or just some other menus that you found on the extension directory. I would suggest you turn it to none because what it'll do is this won't load any of the styling for the menu. So you can go ahead and rely on the styling the menu has. The main menu mobile width, since we're using responsive here, this tells you what pixel percentage, 1000 pixels, is when you want the menu to change to the mobile menu with the hamburger icon. And we talked about regions already, and this is your region order. There's 12 regions. So if you want to rearrange the order here in the back end, you can do it right here. If you want to exclude some regions, you can do that. One thing to make your site load a little faster and to have good content is look at what you're using. Look at how many regions you're using. If you're only using region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you can remove all these regions and it's not going to load them. You always have to have 3 on though, because 3 is holding the component. And that means if you go to any sub page, it's not going to show up if you have 3 deleted. This is a separator between regions, and that's vertically. For this we have 0. And then we get into region settings, and these are pretty much so the same for all of them in this template. So you have your region 1. Do you want it to be fixed width, the width of the main wrapper, or do you want it to be fluid? What kind of padding do you want to have on the region? Do you want to hide the whole region at a mobile level? This is in pixels. So we go down here, region 2 is the same. Region 3 is the same, except we did add some stuff here for the component. So do you want to wrap the component padding top and bottom, left and right? Same thing here for region 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Your footer. Now we get into the left and right columns based on the 12-column grid. So we can look at it this way. The template at the core in region 3, when you're on a subpage with a component, you've got a left and a right module on each region. But let's just kind of think about it right now from the aspect of just the component. The component's going to load in the middle. Then you have an optional left and a right. This sets the width. So the whole site is on a 12-column grid. So if you set the left for 3 columns and the right for 3 columns, that means that's going to be 3% on the left, 3% on the right, and 6% in the center. So if you don't really get the whole Bootstrap 12-column grid, just go ahead and Google Bootstrap 2 because that's what Joomla uses, and look into the grid functioning and you can see how this works. So here you have the ability to set any of these left or rights up to 12 columns. 3 columns, 6 columns takes up half of it, 12 columns takes up the whole thing. And then down here we have a little bit for the modules. Okay, the separator between modules vertically. That's going to assign the pixel value for the modules vertically. So if you want less space between modules or more space, you set it there. The mobile show suffix width and the mobile hide suffix width. As we were looking into the modules, we saw that we wanted some of them to hide and some of them to show by using the module class mobile hide, mobile show. Here you can set where you want the modules to hide at. So here we've got a mobile show. We want the ones with the mobile show suffix to show at 900 pixels, and we want the ones with hide to hide at 900. Next we have our style settings. So here we have our 4 styles. You just click on the style here to edit that style. So I'm just going to go over style 1 because they're all the same. So we've got our body front page, and this is the background color for the front page and the background image. If we look at the front page here, you'll see I have a little diamond pattern here. This is a repeating background pattern. So we've selected the background image here. You can just click select, and it's going to show you all the images available for your backgrounds. And we just selected the background image. And then we put position repeat fixed. Fixed means that it's not going to move with the content. So as you see, it doesn't move and everything scrolls without. If we take fixed off, then it will scroll with the content. Body subpages. Okay, so we want to have different things on the front page to the subpages. Here's a good example on style 4. We want to have this background in here, and we want it to be dark. But when we go to a subpage, we want the background to be light. So this is the body subpage. So we just have a background color, white. Body mobile. And this is important too. If you want to have a different color for the body on the mobile view, you do it right here. You can have a different image, and then you can select the mobile width, and this is when the body mobile shows. Here's our style color scheme. These are base colors, and you can basically attach the base colors to just about any element in the template in the CSS. For this template, we're only using a couple base colors. We're using base color 1, 2, and I believe 6. So you can go ahead and set up your own stuff here, but simply changing these values is what changes the template colors. So if we go here to style 1, I can change the base color and it will change all the blue colors here. Now here's our header. We have our top header wrap. That's up here at the very top. You see this little blue line here. That's the color. The header wrap background color is for the main header here. You can have an image in there with an image position, and then there's the header. The header wrap goes the full width here. So what we're looking at here with having it a fixed width, you can have 2 different colors here. You could have a color on the left and the right, and then the middle could be a separate color. And then you've got your mobile width. This is the mobile level for the header, and the background's at mobile level. Now what this does is, if you want to have a background image for your header, we can go ahead and set a mobile width and say at this width, 1024, we want to not show the images, yes show the images, or swap for a mobile version. And the way that you do the swap is, let's say that your image is called header.jpg. You would just simply upload another copy of that with the size that you want with mobile underscore in front of that. So it would be mobile underscore header JPG, and the template manager will automatically read that that's the image to swap. Now we have our logo area. This is the website logo image. You can select it right here. Here's the logo. Here's the mobile logo. Down here, you can go ahead and upload your own file. The logo width and the logo height. This is the area that the logo is going to be in. This does not change the width or the height of the logo. The logo is a background image, so we need to go ahead and make the div big enough for it. So you need to find out how big your image is, and you need to put the width and the height in there. This is the padding around that div. Here's the mobile logo image. You can select a mobile logo here, your width and your height, your padding, and this is where you want it to swap. So we're going to say 380. And here is our menu colors. So we're not really using any background colors here, as you see. We're just using the text colors. Here's the font color. We want white, we want the hover to be this, and we want the active to be white. Here's our drop-down level. Here's the background color for the drop-down. Then here's the hover colors for the backgrounds for each individual item. So we have our one color here, that's the background, then we have our hover colors here. And we have our active color. These are the font colors. Now we go into regions. So you can have a outer wrap, this is the full width background color, a wrap background image for the full width, and the position. Then you have your region 1 background color. Now the wrap is the outer wrap, and the inner wrap is your fixed width that you have in there. So you could have a different image in the background of a region and then a different image for the width of it. Here's the mobile width and backgrounds at mobile level, yes, no, whatever. And that goes for region 2. Region 3, again, has a few different settings. You've got your component wrap background color. So if you want to actually wrap the component separately, you have your left wrap and your right wrap background color. You have your mobile width and your background images at mobile. So region 4 is going to work the same as 1, 2, and 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here you can see in region 6, we've got our background image here. We've got no repeat. This background image, you can take a look at it, that's that. So here in region 6, we have that background image, and then we have our module in the region 6 position. If we had put the background image here in the outer wrap, that would go full width. Region 7, we have a background color on the inner. Region 9, here's our New York skyline. Bottom center, no repeat, and then we're hiding it at mobile level. No background images at mobile level. And then so on. Now here's your core module styling. If you want to go ahead and have a background color on your module, you want a different color for the title, and this is your first word and second word color. Here's your basic typography. So you have your body, page title, article title, category title, all of your H's, and all of your link colors here. And now for the CSS3 effects, the CSS3 hover effects. This is what gives us a nice subtle hover. You can turn this on or off. Here's a transition property, hover speed. You go ahead and set up the CSS hover effect classes in the CSS3 effects CSS. We'll check that out in a moment. And then the scroll to reveal effects. The scroll to reveal effects can be on or off. And again, like I showed you down here, here's the scroll to reveal effects. You've got those fading in. And the typography settings. Here's our text direction, our global font size, our global font family, and we're using Google Fonts in this. Here's the main menu font size, the font family, the drop-down, font family, our component font size, our component heading font family, content category font size and font family, our article font size, article heading, our module title font size and font family, our breadcrumb, and all of our H's. So as you see, just about all the typography options are right here inside the template manager. You don't have to go into the CSS and edit those. And for the advanced settings, we have our CSS mode. We're loading in about 4 or 5 CSS files. So you can load them as separate files. You can have it compile it as a single file, or you can do head embedding. CSS compression, you can have it on or off. Both these settings you might want to check and see how the load is on your server, if your server handles it, and things like that. Some servers have a little problem, but if you're trying to speed up your site and you're trying to compress your files, these are good options. And here we have our front page components. Right here, like I said, we have no component showing on the front page, so we selected no. You can easily select any component here or all components if you want to have content on the home page. Include jQuery in no conflict mode. We are using jQuery in the template. The template uses jQuery. So the reason that this is here is if you install a third-party extension that's also calling jQuery, or you have some big extension that's running jQuery and you're getting jQuery errors, this is more or less here to turn off so you can find out what's going on. If you don't need to load jQuery and you're loading it from somewhere else, this can be off. If you're loading jQuery in the template and on, I would suggest that you check with your extensions and your components that you're using. If you have the ability to turn jQuery off or select a different mode, you can do it there. This more or less is in here for debugging and for advanced users, so I would go ahead and use it on. Menu assignments. This is to assign the template to a specific menu. So now let's go ahead and go over here to templates. And here's where we can edit all the files. If you're not using an FTP program or a text editing program and you feel confident that you can edit the CSS right in the back end, you can do it right here. So you can edit the files. So here's our CSS, and I'll show you real briefly. Here's our CSS3 effects. If you wanted to add a class to the hover effects, you would just add the class name right here in the hover effects. Going down, here's our responsive parameters. Here's all the CSS for the responsive, all our media breakpoints and everything. Here is the default CSS, so if you want to change something here. But I'm going to show you one thing here that you might want to think about. If you want to change something here inside of the CSS, and you want to make sure that when new updates come out for Elite that you're not going to override the things that you've put in, here's real easy. If you want to go ahead and edit, say, let's go up here and say that we want to edit the message, the core Joomla message. What you can do is you can copy this out of here and then you can go to the template CSS. The template CSS is left blank. And this is for any custom CSS that you want to put in or even overrides. So you would just copy it and put it in here. This file loads last in the CSS chain. So unless there is an important on it inside of the original file, it's going to actually override anything here. If there's an important on it in another file, you're going to want to add an important to it over here. And now for the overrides, here's all the overrides that we have in. So if you want to change something in our content overrides, say in our category, like if you want to change something inside of the FAQ item, you can just load the override right in here and change it. If you want to create a new override, say you want to go ahead and change the login module, you can go over here to the module and go ahead and make an override for the login module. We have some videos up about creating overrides and doing overrides on our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in finding out more about overrides, go ahead and look us up on YouTube/JoomlaXTC and look at our tips and secrets videos and check out our creating custom overrides videos. And that's it for our administration video. I hope I've covered everything. If this doesn't help you, feel free to go ahead and send us a support ticket. I hope you found the video helpful and informative, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.